Mike DeWine here at the Region Sports Network for another episode of the 100-Yard Interview, and now I'm joined by a reoccurring guest, a three-time guest, I think the first ever, Coach Craig Buzea of Crown Point Football. What's up, Coach?
Well, it's my pleasure. Good to be here, and awful proud to be a third-timer here, that's for sure.
Right, an exclusive club. Great to be back here at the Hub City. Coach, we'll start with 2025 as we kind of usually do. Another solid team, of course, as well. A loaded group kind of on the defensive side, but overall you guys kind of really came around, ended up winning the Duneland, fell short in the sectional championship. But what can you say about kind of last year's group?
Well, I mean, it was one of those seasons where, as always when we're here, that we have to replace a ton of really good seniors and a lot of question marks last year, that's for sure. And, replacing the Gatorade Player of the Year in Noah Ehrlich and then a bunch of other guys that were Division I guys. We really didn't know what to expect, and had a quarterback situation where we had to rectify, and Tice Custy had stepped in and did a really nice job for us, and you run the table for the fourth consecutive year. You certainly can't be too sad about that, but sure. You're right, we ended a little bit earlier than we anticipated, but that's what happens when you go 9-0 teams, and in the sectional finals, and it's our third year of having to go over to Penn. With all said and done, we needed one first down at the end of the game. The game would have been over, and they stopped us, and then we just needed to stop them one time, and they scored with less than a minute to go. So it's one of those things that hopefully we learned from, but really excited about what we got coming up this year.
And you hit on it a little bit, Coach, where it was a team where, yes, of course, as you do for most of your teams when you have a lot of talent coming back, but also you lose a good amount of talent as well. And we kind of saw on the offensive side, and I believe we kind of talked about it here when we had dinner with you guys, but offensively, it was very fun to watch kind of development of that group where you talked about the quarterback play of a few years ago, and then you guys were kind of more of a run-heavy team, a lot of misdirection. And I guess just the growth kind of on that front where your offensive skill might have been kind of a question coming into 2025, but really stepped up, and you guys kind of showed a new hand to all those teams that you guys kind of had success against.
Yeah, really, we did, and it was one of those that the last 3 years we've been averaging about 40 points a game, and we didn't know where we were, and it ended up being about just the same, and just a different way of doing it,
Sure.
and you have one of our top guys, Trevor Gibbs, which really hobbled for most of the year, and we couldn't use him like we wanted to, but
right.
We had some other guys step up, and had two running backs, Max Gurnick and Braden Scott. They came just really out of nowhere, and they did a fantastic job. But it all, starts with the offensive line, and we certainly had a really good one, and lucky for us, 5 of those top 7 come back this year. So that's really where we think we're going to build this offense on.
Yeah, so we can kind of, turn the page a little bit to 2026. You and I were talking about before we got on, you guys had the Futures camps not too long ago. Today is the first day of install. So what did you see from the Futures, and then what are you kind of looking forward to tonight? Now, seeing your guys here, they're going to be playing on Friday nights and Saturday mornings.
Yeah, the Futures camp we started, actually I started at HF, and we just think it's a great benefit to see our kids that are coming through the program. They get to meet the varsity coaches, they get to meet the middle school and freshman coaches, and we had 30 coaches here, from the program, just watching our guys, close to 200 kids, and it was just a 4-day camp that we get to know them. We put them through a combine.
Yeah.
We love what we see out of them, and their excitement to be a Bulldog, when they get there, and then tonight's really a special night just from the standpoint it's the first time we're going to assemble this group that's coming up, and of all the passions that I have, probably my biggest passion is taking a group of guys and making them into a team. And today's really that first day that we get to see our guys, and obviously we're going to have some guys missing just because of spring sports and all that type of stuff, but it's exciting. I know our coach has been working real hard, and we're ready to go.
What could you say, Coach, looking at your social media pages all throughout kind of throughout the off season? I think one thing is always going to be up there, and it's these Crown Point Bulldogs moving weight. What could you say about the weightlifting program? Because we talk about a lot of support, and you're one of the guys that always kinds of, okay, I'm the leader of the group, but there's so many other pieces to make things happen. I think one piece that deserves a lot of credit is what happens in that weight room.
I don't think there's any question that's the backbone of our success, and we pin it on our guys. They know exactly, we're not going to have the skill that some of these other teams have that, it's just not going to happen with us, but we could overcome a lot of that with what we do in the weight room. I think we have the best strength program around. We certainly have what I think is the best strength coach I've ever seen at the high school level. Mark Garrett, he's just tremendous,
Sure.
and what he's able to get our guys to do and believe in, and we just take it from there and just sort of say, hey, this is what you're done in the weight room. This is how it's going to go ahead and transfer to the field, and it has, and our guys believe that when they take the field, they're going to be the strongest team that they're going to go against.
It's really fun to watch. See, especially these athletes kind of, grow up in front of our eyes as well, kind of from the media, where you see, hey, they're lifting weight this one year, and then a couple more years, you see the same video, and they're putting up even more weight.
What the amount of weight these guys move is incredible. Right. I mean, and I think this group that we got coming up may be the strongest group that we've had, which is very encouraging for us.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
That's a lot of praise, Coach. Drew, we're at the 50. We've always talked about, what kind of Crown Point means to you in this chapter of your coaching career, but it's hard for anybody kind of in the media side or just, again, a fan of sports to not see the success all across the board that Crown Point has had. You guys posted a graphic not too long ago that you guys were, I think, this school was one of three with, I believe it was 20-plus wins in girls and boys hoops and 10-plus wins on the football field. What is that like as a coach? Again, you're a big program here, of course, as well. You guys done a lot of great things, but you're part of now a big family, and kind of the one goal, and always seems to be checked off here, it's winning.
Yeah, and I think that's the expectation here, right? I mean, we're just one of 4 sports here, and most of them all have the same expectations. And I think that's, I am so lucky to be part of this community, this school. It does everything right. And I know there's, from the outside looking in, people are asking how we do it, but it's a team effort, and you look at what our basketball team does, and our girls basketball team, the wrestlers won state, and you can go on and on. We got a chance, I think, to win 2 state championships this spring with baseball and softball. It's just the expectation that comes along with it, and I think winning breeds success, and they once one team or one program shows the rest, it could be done. I think everybody aspires to do that, and I think it's really, really important. But I am really, really proud to be part of this athletic program.
Backing off of that, Coach, I want to try and word this in the best way possible, but being a part of that culture where there's a lot of trophies, a lot of winning, is there any sort of, I don't want to try and pit one Crown Point athletic program against another, but is there some sort of kind of pressure or something to kind of a challenge to keep up kind of that winning mantra? We know it's an all supportive group, but I kind of wanted to hear If there's any kind of take on that, where we want to do what this team's doing, we want to, again, a lot just wins.
Well, I think that's part of it,
Yeah.
and it's the competition that's within the other teams.
An internal competition.
I think one team doesn't want to be outdone by the other, but yet we all support each other, and I think that's really what's a part of it. So like I said, I think once we started seeing all these breakthroughs with all these teams that make it to the state championship and doing that, I mean, it's just every week something is happening positively in Crown Point sports, and it's really cool to watch. It really is.
All right, we'll talk about 2026 here now, Coach. So you talked about the offensive line. It's a group that's returning a little bit, as well as kind of the offensive skill. We talked about this a little bit last year, that the defense of 2025, a lot of guys that started in that state championship game as sophomores. What is kind of the overall outlook, at least in these early stages, for this 2026 Crown Point team?
Well, every team is different, and we have to build it from top to bottom, and it's just you look at it and you say, well, they should be pretty good, right? I mean, got an undefeated freshman team, undefeated JV team. Our JV team hasn't lost in years. Freshmen, I mean, varsity hasn't lost a game in 4 years. I mean, so you take a look at that and you say, well, they should be pretty decent, and we should, right? But there's so much more that goes into it. The chemistry, the injuries, all that type of stuff. We just feel like we have to start from scratch and put it together. I think the other thing that's really important that our players understand, and they'll be told that tonight, like nothing's guaranteed. We have, I don't know, 15, 16 starters coming back from last year. Those guys aren't guaranteed a spot, because look at what the JV's done. Look what the freshmen's done. The eighth, all those guys that are coming back. I think that's probably what sets us apart from where we were 2 or 3 years ago, is the depth that we have, and the competition that if these guys miss a practice or they have a bad practice or whatever the case may be, I can guarantee you someone's going to step up and take their spot.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, no pun intended.
Well, that's I mean, that's what it's all about.
Sure.
Our guys realize that they cannot take a day off. If they do, someone's going to take their spot.
I'll go two questions here, Coach. How was last year's senior group? How are they able now to kind of, again, relay kind of what they learned, their experiences, as well as, their experience, I guess, as a leader, as well as, of course, a multi-year starter? And then who are maybe some of these, upcoming seniors of 2026 that may be suspected to take kind of those leaps like 2025 did?
Yeah, the group we lost was an excellent group, and again, I'm going to sit here and mention names, but I mean, there's some very, very decorated guys that we lost, but I think it's just what a program is, right? Like, there's so much to live up to, and we never really talk about winning and how much we've won in the past, or a winning streak. Obviously we got 3 or 4 winning streaks that are going on, but our players are aware of it, and they understand that there's something that they have to do to uphold that standard, because if they don't, they're going to let the people that built that program up, right? So those seniors that have left, they'll be very supportive to these guys, but they'll also hold those guys accountable, because, hey, this is how we do it. This is the way things we need to do it, and how we need to do it. And so that's the other thing about it. It's real exciting to see who is going to step up, right? We have an idea, but there's always 3 or 4 guys that are going to step up. And there's going to be some guys that when people sit up in those stands Friday night and say, where the heck did they come from, right? And they've just waited their turn, right? They've developed themselves in a weight room, like you said. And all of a sudden, a guy's been playing JV football for 2 years. Now all of a sudden on a Friday, as a senior, is a monster, right? And that's part of the program, right? And that's how it works.
That's good stuff. Well, one more question here before we hit the red zone here, Coach. We'll talk a little bit about the schedule. Okay, well, I guess we'll first start in the summer. We talked about, again, you have your installs today. It's going to be a loaded summer, as always, for you guys in terms of the competition standpoint. Of course, always a couple fun out-of-conference games, a fun week 1 matchup, of course, on this field, and then a fun new sectional pairing at Sectional 1 and 6A. So we'll start with the summer, Coach.
Yeah, summer, we seek out the best that we can go against, and whether it's Illinois, which we have plenty of those, but Indiana as well. Talking about guys like Brownsburg, who's a 2-time defending state champ, Warren Central. We've looked out of state and to get teams like East St. Louis, because we know that we have to get ready for speed, right? And so it's one of the fastest teams in the country. So we think iron sharpens iron. We're going to go against the best, and sometimes we feel like maybe we do a little bit too much in the summer, but we got to get our guys ready, right? And that's the reason why we picked up Pike like we did last year, just for that same scenario. So summer's important, just like the regular off season is, but it will give us some answers before we get to that week one. I think that's important.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Going to be a fun. It'll all be over in a flash too. Before
it absolutely will. Yeah,
it'll be a fun summer for all of us here. All right,
question.
Coach. You know the drill. Red zone. So let's hit some rapid questions. Okay, you have a loaded coaching staff, but if you were maybe to hone in on one that you could survive on a deserted island with, who would that be? Give you the best chance.
In regards to what?
Survival.
Just survival itself.
Yeah.
Man.
If you want to do different categories too, maybe somebody that could. You guys could at least not go crazy over the course of, how long you guys are there.
Well,
keep a good conversation or keep it fun.
I think, Tom Cicero, I think we're going on our year 20 now, together, and I trust him with everything. I mean, if we're on a deserted island, he's the guy that I'd want to be with just because he's not going to let anything happen to me. Right. I mean, he's going to protect me. He's going to do it, and he's going to do whatever. Now, if we got to find something to do quickly, he's probably not my guy. But any other time, I mean, I got to trust him because in this day and age of two coaches to be together for 20 years in a row is just I love all my coaches. We're very, very blessed to have the guys that we do, but Tommy's real special to me.
That's super good stuff. All right, what is your favorite, let's say during the football season, Coach, your favorite part of the week that isn't Friday night?
Well, I'm probably a little bit different than most coaches. Is Friday is not my favorite time of week. I mean, I am in love with preparation, and I love all the days leading up to it. Now, obviously, Friday you get paid and all that type of stuff, right? It's your payday, and that's how you got to do things. But
sure thing.
Just the preparation and the learning and breaking down, opponents and tendencies and finding something new to do every Friday night. That's really what I love to do. And when I stop loving to do that, that's when it's time to get out, right?
Gotcha.
Because that's really what that's really what gets me up in the morning.
Awesome. So everything but Friday, pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's fun. I mean, Fridays, one of those Fridays, and I've heard it before said you either, you either survive or it's misery. One or the other. That's the only two. There's no joy out of Fridays. You feel like, but that's just how it is, right? Because as soon as that one's over, you're on to the next one, right? And I get criticized by my wife all the time that I need to sit back and enjoy what's going on. And I think when I retire, wherever that would be, that's probably when I'm going to enjoy it. But right now, it's just about survival on Fridays and, trying to stay away from that misery.
I know you said you enjoy yourself. I'm seeing kind of one of the things you guys have been doing in the off season. Is it the pickleball coaches association?
Oh man,
I've seen that. I've seen a couple photos of you kind of getting after it. How did that start? And how's your game, Coach?
Well, depends who you ask as far as my game goes. But yeah, we started doing that, a couple of us, and then I decided, you know what? I think it's time that we start doing some things off the field with our. And so we do something once during Christmas break. My wife set it up this year, and we usually take the coaches out and do something, whatever it may be. But this year she said we're done to get it around pickleball, and so we started. We had one night that all the wives and coaches went and played, and it was just an offshoot from that. And then I started what we call the CPA, the Coaches Pickleball Association, and we got about 10 or 12 guys that play once a week, and it's been fantastic just to get out there and compete and do some things and do it outside of the realm of a football field.
Right,
and it's been one of the best things we've ever done.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. They try to get the players into that at all?
Well, we got a few surprises maybe this summer, which we're going to try to do. Right?
Okay.
There's no way they could compete with us. I mean, there's there's no way, but maybe we'll have something with them. But we got an unbelievable facility over here at the Y that we take advantage of. So we're going to probably try to do something with them.
Noted. Some good team bonding experiences coming up here shortly.
Yep.
You've had plenty of mentors, Coach, and you talked about a piece of advice that you were given not too long ago. But is there one piece of advice that sticks out to you in today's day and age?
I always revert back to my high school coach, because obviously it's the easiest thing to do, right? So Les Thornton, who was a dear friend of mine, later after I got out of high school, and he was just a guy that just, told me, be yourself, just don't let anybody from the outside influence what you're doing and how you're doing it. And he was that same way. I mean, he was that guy that just, he was going to be who he was, right?
Sure.
And he did it in the right way, and he did it for, the right reasons. And he always told me that, be selfless. Anything that comes your way is because of someone else helped you, right? And that's exactly how I feel. Like, whatever has come my way, it's been because of the people that have been around me or the players that have been there. It's not about me, and I think that was probably the best advice like he's ever given me.
That's wise words. And as we cross the goal line here, Coach, as we usually do when we wrap some things up, but kind of recap again, what should we expect from another great team? Expected to be a good team under your watch, but another chapter now, and ending up 2026. It's going to be a fun story.
It is, and I wish I had the answer for it, but I know we're gonna do the same things that we've always done. We're gonna play the game right. Our kids are gonna play hard. It's just so exciting to see who is going to flourish, because you always get a couple guys, right? And,
sure.
And I really think that we got a chance to be, again, hate to compare things, from the last 4 years or what we've done, but I know this team is going to do everything they can to continue the what has happened here in the last 4 years, and it's be exciting to watch them.
Let's do it, Coach. Well, for the three-time guest, the head football coach of Crown Point, I'm Mike Dewan with the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Get Pulse Technology on your team and score a touchdown with our managed print and copier services. Cover your bases with our IT and technology solutions, or hit a home run with our wide selection of office supplies. Scoreboards or AV solutions from Pulse Technology. That's a slam dunk. Or go for the grand slam with our office furniture and design services. Get in touch with us today. Pulse Technology, powering Indiana business since 1919.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea, It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, hut.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.